Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to video five, part five, Shifting Your Power of the Trauma Recovery Room 5 video series for Narcissistic Love 101, where it's going to teach you how to empower yourself, how to get out and stay out of that toxic and poison relationship. For those of you who don't know me, which of course I'm pretty sure you probably do by now, but just in case you're seeing this video outside of the 5 part video series, I'm just going to briefly give you a little background about myself and where the trauma recovery room came from. My name is Tanya K. Austin. I am better known as Coach Tanya. I am a narcissistic abuse recovery coach and a struggle strategist. I am definitely designed to help people to overcome their struggles. I had a rough childhood. I experienced so many emotional struggles that I had to overcome by myself. And in learning how to overcome things on your own and how to dig deep inside yourself on your own, you learn ways and come up with strategies as well as being creative because I am an author and a writer. As well as being creative, I was able to create things for other people. So the experiences that I went through from my childhood and growing up and enduring a toxic relationship with a narcissist. So I am a survivor as well. Enduring a toxic relationship with a narcissist, being married to him, and having other relationships as well, not knowing full well that they were narcissistic as well. But in my journey of trying to fix that fool, I learned to fix myself. So along the way, I learned about narcissism. I became a specialist and good at discerning it and teaching other people as well. So I developed the trauma recovery room as a safe haven for those who have suffered from emotional trauma or rough experiences, poor, bad experiences that have left you stuck emotionally and unable to move forward. So I give you that safe haven or that safe place for you to go, for you to get the tools and the strategies that you need to overcome that struggle and to walk into your purpose and to fully be who you were created to be. So today we're going to talk about on this video, which is the last part of the actual series, but you do again have your bonus videos that are going to complement these 5 parts. But we're going to talk about shifting power. And I was going to put shifting power in the last video, but I saved it for this one because it kind of connects with the topics that are going with the shifting, within the shifting of your power. So after everything that you've gone through, understanding what the narcissist is, understanding why they chose you, understanding the cycle, and then finding ways how to get out. You have, in addition to those things, you have the knowledge on how to deal with rejection and accepting them and understanding them. And when you get to that point where now you are at the end and you're getting closer to them being out of your life, and a part of them getting out of your life and staying out of your life is shifting your power and understanding one, their purpose as to why they even came in your life, and understanding your purpose in them coming in your life. So, what is it that they were meant to teach you? What was their purpose in your life? Was it to destroy you? No. Or was it to teach you something that was tucked, hidden deep down inside of you that you needed to pour out? So before you can shift your power, where you struggle in that area is because you don't understand why this narcissist came into your life. If you look at your relationship with that narcissist, you can definitely see where they definitely reflected a part of your past that was traumatic for you. And they are sent energetically, they're used as conduits because they represent the thoughts in your mind. They were sent in a physical form to get you to face whatever it is that's bothering you. Because whatever it is that we're scared of most, we're going to be forced to face that fear. It's going to always be manifested in your life some kind of way for you to face it, because as long as it's controlling you, you have no power and control over yourself. And as long as you're lacking the understanding of why the narcissist came in your life, your power will never be able to shift in the direction that it needs to. So understanding why the narcissist came in your life. How do you do that? Again, look at what they represent. The narcissist or your mate, period, is a mirror reflection of who you are on the inside, what you're thinking. So what is it that the narcissist represents? For me, he was a liar, and he was very unreal or untrue to himself. I had to seriously look at, and he was a cheater. He just wasn't faithful or loyal. I had to seriously turn inward and look at the areas of my life where I was a liar or a cheater, or I wasn't loyal, or I wasn't faithful. And all of that had to do with loving myself and serving God and my purpose here on this earth. He was a direct reflection of me not being who I was supposed to be. And because I wasn't being who I was supposed to be, that energy was sent out into the universe and it was reciprocated back to me in the form of that man. He was the direct reflection of what I was thinking. And those thoughts were so toxic and so negative that they were the biggest internal fear that I didn't even know I had, but the soul knew. And it is what manifested for me to finally confront it and get those demons and those negative thoughts out. So, in learning why he came into my life, and in learning you understanding why your narcissist comes into your life, you become empowered and able to understand the process of narcissism. So, as a codependent, which I'm probably pretty sure that you are, or empath with no boundaries, same difference, there was something, just as the narcissist was raised and born and guided in such a manner that gave them their personality, you were the same way. So, as a codependent and as a person who is accepting of toxicity in their lives and receiving it, because the narcissist doesn't have a problem with giving it, but you don't have a problem with receiving it. And when you're in that position, then that means that there was some bond or some trauma that you experienced in your childhood or early in your life, where you developed that sense that accepting trauma or accepting bad behavior was okay for you. So dig deep and figure out where in your life was bad behavior okay for you. Where in your life were you taught that you deserved to be treated in such a bad manner because you're a bad person? Who put those thoughts in your head? What period of your life did you receive those messages? And then you want to think, who gave them to you? And because the person that gave them to you was probably close to you, you believed them. And you never got any information to dispute that. So therefore, that bond that was traumatically taking place in your past, that bond is still stuck inside of you. And as a person who is codependent or empath, the fixer, you want to fix things. You always want to fix things. And because you are the fixer, your energy is sent out into the universe to fix yourself. Your soul is going to produce that energy within you so that you can manifest things unwillingly, unconsciously, of course, so that you can manifest situations and people in your life so that you can fix yourself and you can get rid of that traumatic bond and replace it with healthier ones. So when you're growing up, the type of attachment that you had with your caregivers determines the type of connection that you'll have older within your adulthood. So when you're accepting of a narcissistically abusive person, you probably had the childhood where you were ignored a lot. You were told negative things about you. You were not accepted, or you were not loved. You were not paid attention to. You were not validated. You were not affirmed. You were not told you were pretty. You were not reassured of anything. You were not supported. And when that narcissist came into your life, remember, I'm pretty sure you told them all about that. And as someone who's a prey, studying as someone as a predator, studying their prey, they know that that's your weak point. and they know how to get in with you. And because they know that, that's what they use to keep you attached to them, because they represent now that part of your life that you wanted to fix as a kid, but that you couldn't. So now that you're grown and you're in a relationship, that attachment style that you had that was unhealthy with your parents now becomes replaced with the unhealthy attachment with this narcissistic mate. And again, the soul wants you to resolve this issue, which is why your mindset physically manifested. It was allowed to be manifested in the form of this person so that you can finally get to the point of even knowing what's going on. So when you can understand that those trauma bonds connect you with this narcissist, and they are what's going to continue to keep you in a stronghold with them, keeping them in your mind. And it's definitely going to play a part in whether you return to them or not. So if you understand those traumatic bonds that you had as a child, and you understand what type of attachment style that you had, then you can definitely become wiser in your walk with this particular person. And you can understand better how to make better decisions for yourself. Because when you get to the point where you do break up with the narcissist, or they do get to where they've discarded you and want you back, they're going to hoover you, just like the vacuum cleaner. They're going to try everything in the book of narcissism to pull you back in and suck you back in. So that is why it is definitely important for you to understand how those traumatic bonds developed and how you can break them. And you're going to use the opportunity of separating from this narcissist as your chance and your final opportunity. Not saying it's your last one, but saying finally, it's finally your opportunity to confront those demons from your past so that you can get narcissistic people out of your life. Because that's the thing about narcissism. And if you look back at your other relationships, if this is not the only one you've had, if you look back, literally look back, you can see that the other people in your life were narcissistic as well. They probably just weren't to the magnitude of the one that's drawing you near to this class today. Because I, again, can look back and see where all of my men were narcissistic. And my first husband, may he rest in peace, just passed away. He was a bit narcissistic as well, but he was like the light, mild version. And had I learned those lessons that I was supposed to learn 20 years ago, 25 years ago, then I definitely wouldn't be sitting here today saying this thing to you 25 years later. This would be a 25-year-old recording that you're listening to right now. But because I didn't understand narcissism, because I didn't have an avenue or a place to understand it, I was lost. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what direction to take. And because I didn't have that, again, that's one of the reasons why I created the trauma recovery room, because there are a lot of places, a lot of coaches, a lot of people don't even understand narcissism. And you can go to a counselor and get help for a narcissistic abusive relationship, but if they're not aware or familiar of how it works, it's not going to work. Because in a narcissistic abusive relationship, in order to fix the relationship, you have to separate and you both heal from whatever it is that you're going through individually. And then if you realize you still want to be with this person, then you focus on the issues in the relationship. And a lot of people don't have time for that, because when you get to the point where you're furious with this person, you don't give a fuck about saving nothing, period. And even if you do still have love in your heart for them, you have to let that shit go, let it die, and let them be reborn and created in years later or whatever it is, however it takes. If you're still interested or still love them, then try again. But you can never restore a relationship with a narcissist and think that it's going to get better unless they've gone through some blown healing recovery boot camp or something, and just total transformation and every day living that life. They're not going to change. And when you go back to them, they're going to get worse, because in the back of their ego's mind, and the ego is what rules them, the ego is going to hate you and get revenge on you for keeping them out of your life for so long to be able to shit on you and fuck over you anymore. Because now that you're separated from, they're probably out there lost looking for somebody else to shit on and fuck over. And they're mad. The ego is mad because they don't have anybody. That's why they're going to miss you so much. That's why they're going to still love you and still want it to work out. And nobody out here can replace you. Of course not. Because nobody else is going to sit up and deal with their bullshit. Because when they become comfortable with you and you discard them and it throws them off, they don't know what to do because they haven't prepared to discard you. And they're out there and they're desperate and they don't know how to respond and they don't have time to go back to being that fake ass person. It's not going to work for them because they're so used to being real with themselves, which is a fucking asshole, and they're so comfortable with it being like that with you for so many years. Imagine how many years have you been together? 10, 15, 23, 6, 7, 4. They have 4 or 5 years, 2, 3 years to be this asshole with you. And now they got to start over all of a sudden. You're going to throw them off their shit. And of course, they're going to hoover the fuck out of you. But you better believe while they out there, they're going to be playing games and they're going to be doing what they want to do. They're going to be doing freely what they were doing with you anyway. And they're going to lie and they're going to show you versions of themselves that are not real. And know this, that the mission of the narcissist is never to get you back and change and be a better person. On their mind, they don't have the ability to look past go. After go, they collect their $200 they lost. They don't know what to do. So their goal is just to get you back. They have no plan on how they're going to keep you. And they're going to continue to have that savage ass attitude and that savage ass behavior. And they're not going to give a fuck because in their mind, they've accomplished their goal, which was getting you back. Because in their head, their ego is bruised and it's going to fuck them up that you discarded them and threw off their whole shit. But who cares? Because the point is, you are getting to a point to where you are getting out of the relationship and staying out. Their goal is to get back in it and become worse at it and worse with you than they were before. And that's something you definitely do not want. So I hope this video helped you. I hope that this whole series helped you. I definitely hope that I see you again in another program. I definitely am thankful for your participation in this particular program. I hope that you spread the word and pass it on to someone else. Have them join the program as well. I hope that, again, as I mentioned in video 4, that if you are interested in and you are worried or concerned about struggling with this, then you definitely want to inbox me or get some information about my 5-week Struggle Strategy Academy boot camp. It's a mindset reconditioning boot camp where you're going to go thoroughly inside the mind. And whatever it is that you're struggling with, you're going to have tactics and tools and strategies on how to get out of it. So knowing to shift your power in this particular situation is definitely something that will allow you to shift your life. Because when you change your mind, you change your life. And the power that you have in this relationship is to change your mind. So thank you so much for joining me on this 5-video series. Again, I hope that it benefited you. This is your girl, Coach Tanya. This is the Trauma Recovery Room. And I hope to hear from you soon. And just so you know, you guys have lifetime access into my group. So whatever it is that you want to know, you are still welcome to be a part of my tribe and my healing community. So again, I thank you. This is your girl, Coach Tanya. And I want to say that I love you and I will see you on the other side. I'm out.